Hawkeye got a good project. I don't know what this was. I will be very honest with you. I have no idea how to categorize this as format. This was not a series because it's not long enough. It was a fun Marvel adventure, but is it an MCU adventure? I don't think so. And we will get back to this in a moment. And this is too long for a miniseries. You know, those are 2 to 4 episodes. Uh, Stranger Things, like, one continuous adventure is 8 episodes. Proper series is at bare minimum 10, 12, 13 episodes. So I don't know what these 5, 6 episode things are for Marvel, Disney, MCU. No clue. I like the show. It's very good production value. It has great casting, even and even though it is about rich people doing rich things and very it's your knows that if you want to be a superhero, you have to be rich. That's it. Without immense amount of money, you will not be a superhero, whether you have abilities or not. Like, I guarantee, one arrow of Hawkeye costs like $1,000. That's shooting $1,000 per arrow as bare minimum. There was at least one which was super high tech. So that's, even if serialized, at least $10,000. that's that's not affordable for the average people. And especially the first episode is absolutely just rich people doing rich things in their huge mansions. And that is why I always, since I got aware of reality, had some dichotomy, or I don't know, so some bad feeling we towards Hollywood productions, because everybody lives in 2-story mansions. It's our flat is like 80 square meter and it's a nuisance to clean and cost way too much. I was like 10 when we moved here and I knew this is too big. Amongst other factors, because there were no roads and that kind of shit. We are living way too far from anything. But that's my problem, so it's moving on. I love the Kingpin. Sure, you just hire a big guy, I thought. But when he fights, that's surely they are using ropes and all that, but he has the moves. That's like wrestling or something. I liked it. There are a ton of various special arrows, of course, and Kate Bishop, or what's her name was, works as a character. So yeah, sure, gender swapping and generation swapping and all that, but she's good. You know, I mean, probably a bit young when you think about it to, face the challenges as the Avengers, but we can work with that. I think, that's why these cost like $100 million. But then I heard nothing about it. And I wonder why. Because this is a good show. Even though you absolutely don't have to watch it. And Hawkeye is like the third protagonist in this whole thing. And of course we have the twist villain because that was the trend back then, I guess. But that's really a minor issue. The show is too good for it to make me complain about that one thing. The and this Kate Bishop character who really takes up like the first half of the first episode, which made me, where is Hawkeye? I'm watching the right show. The internet, this happens sometimes. It turned out I am watching, but it's more a Kate Bishop show than a Hawkeye show, which is fine. I mean, Hawkeye retired, and was this whole Ronin arc, which happened off camera during Endgame. Fine, we need a generation. We need a refresh for the MCU with actors and actresses and characters. Sure. But did this thing achieved anything more than introducing Kate Bishop? No. And that's a problem because the continuation of this show is Echo. Because Echo shows up here, and the show Echo is, let's be honest, a direct continuation of this. That makes Echo the real protagonist, the primary protagonist, despite, introduced like in episode 3, that's she appears at the very end of episode 2, and that's a very cool scene. So that's why I already watched the first episode of Echo. I mean properly, because I tried, but I didn't switch it up. Echo has some problems as a character. I mean, not as the character, but as the execution of the character. I blame both the director, the choreographer, fight choreographer, and the actress. One is she doesn't really have, facial expressions. She can do some things. She can be sad and bothered and very, But when it comes to expressing, the positive emotions, being happy, she can do that. Areas lacking when it comes to acting, I think. So, yeah, that's a thing. But one of the things is that when she's doing the dojo fight, it's after she learned judo as a kid. She's in taekwondo or kickbox dojo, and it doesn't seem like it's a gang dojo. It's not training or ninjas because we are Hydra or something like that. It looks like a simple dojo, but I doubt any actual dojo would let you kick others with a titanium prosthetic leg. So that's an issue for me. But I have a bigger gripe with Echo, and that's purely on the acting. It seems to me that she doesn't understand or has very big troubles reading lips. But especially in that Echo show, I saw one episode already. She doesn't look the lips. That's a problem. And, it's just the everyday communication would be trouble, especially when she goes to the bowling club. She should expect trouble that not everybody speaks sign language. But it really seems that she started to learn reading lips, but she just gave up because of attitude. And, in the Hawkeye show, in this one, it's properly built up that she will have a redemption arc. She's a turned out criminal, but she realized that the Kingpin was, against her family, killed her father, yada yada yada, the usual stuff. So she shoots Kingpin. I love Kingpin. Once he's hit with an arrow in the chest from really close, and it's just missing some mild annoyance. I think he has very thick bones and very tough muscles. That's why it's possible. So it's fine. But with Echo, she shoots Kingpin and goes away. And in the first episode of the Echo show, she declares herself the next Kingpin. How that's supposed to work out? So she's still a villain? We didn't do that much in the MCU. So what's up with that? And how will the Native American Earth elemental aliens come to the whole thing? I have zero idea. But again, this was a good show and should have gotten a second season, like Lady Hawkeye or whatever you want to call it, because the actor who played Hawkeye all this time got an offer for season 2, but threw it back because it was double the episodes for half the money. I perfectly agree with him, so yeah, do that. But that was not a reason to throw out Kate Bishop. Just say you completed the training with Hawkeye and she went on her own adventure and call the show Lady Hawkeye or whatever you want. So how about that?